What's up, YouTube? This go Rilla Wayne. I want to talk to y'all this evening about that I-864 and the I-134 for K-1 visas. The expats sitting over there chilling in the Philippines with their Filipina, they got it made. They have no obligations. All the cards is in their favor. They Filipina girlfriend or spouse, even if they married in the Philippines, if they don't do that I-864 or that I-134, they'll never be able to bring their woman to the United States. So even if they are married to the Filipina in the Philippines, she got to dot her I's and cross her T's, and she walking on a bed of nails. Or she can just leave and find a new man. Cards is all in the expat's favor. But one thing about that, being an expat with your girlfriend over in the Philippines, you got to have a steady, constant income. You're a YouTuber, or you good with finance. You got a lot of money saved up, retirement money, or you good with stocks and bonds or something. You got to have a steady stream, or you ain't gonna be over that long. You gonna be you'll be a OFW. That's another thing a person can do. You can be a OFW, but your Filipina, she's still at your beck and call. You get pissed off, you can get rid of her, and she's back poor, and you just find you another one. The downside of that is being an expat in the Philippines without bringing your spouse to your country, like the United States or Australia or wherever you're from. You footing the bill, the total bill. And if she's a poor woman, 9 times out of 10 she is, you footing her bill and you helping her family a little bit too. Anybody gets sick, you're gonna be the first person they call for a little taste of change to get some help. They're gonna call you. The good thing about bringing your girlfriend, your wife to the United States is she can get a job and she can help. You don't have, she can send the money to her family if her family needs help. She can buy some things that she needs. You don't have to buy everything for her. She can come here and get a job and get some health insurance. She can put some money back, you know. Yeah, she might even pay a bill or two for you in the household. You know what I mean? That's the upside of bringing your Filipino to the United States. But the cards ain't all in your favor anymore. It's kind of like 50-50, because if you split up, the card's going to be in her favor if she decides to sue. That I-864 is legally binding for 10 years. Even if she leaves you and you guys get a divorce, if she leaves you the next day, if she gets off the plane and leaves you the next day for some other guy she's been chatting, she just wanted to get here to go get with somebody, you still legally binding on I-864, which she probably wouldn't sue for it. She probably wouldn't have the money to sue for it. She probably just go be with the other guy that she came here for in the first place. So the car's not out in your favor. That's just like any other American. When you marry somebody in your country, like I'm in the United States, if I marry somebody in the United States, the car's not in my favor. It's like a 50-50 thing. Really, the card's in the woman's favor. But the I-864 is a little bit stronger, uh, because even if she leaves you the next day, you still legally bind it to support her 125% above the poverty line. If you get married and then you file a divorce the next day. Shoot, that'd be a no. You wouldn't have to pay no alimony or nothing like that. You know, I-864 is a little bit stronger than that. Now, I-864 goes with the I-130. Now, I-134 goes with the K-1 visa. It's not legally binding, and it's only good for 90 days for a temporary stay. I-864 is for a permanent stay, and that goes with the I-130. The I-130 alien relative. The K-1 visa is fiance visa. It After she gets off that plane into your country, uh, uh, let's say the United States or Australia. Well, the United States. I don't know how Australia does theirs. After she gets to the United States, the I-134. Uh, what's the name? What they call that I-134? I-134 Declaration of Financial Support. I-864 is called Affidavit of Support. I-134 is Declaration of Financial Support. It's only good for 90 days. K-1 visa is good for 6 months after you're approved in Manila. And when you get on that plane to get to the United States, K-1 visa is only good for 90 days. You got to get married within 90 days. If you don't get married within 90 days, the I-134 Declaration of Financial Support is void, and she has to go back before the 90 days up, back to her country, or she is an illegal alien and she's breaking laws. Let me read this. The I-864 Affidavit of Support is legally binding contract between the sponsor and the U.S. government. Don't take our word for it. Part 8 of the official form spells out the legal effect of signing the form as creating a contract between you and the U.S. government. This contract obligates you to provide your sponsored immigrant with enough support to reach 125% of the federal poverty guidelines for up to 10 years. If you do not provide this support, the contract gives the immigrant the power to sue. So she got to get a lawyer. You for any unpaid support. Not only that, if the immigrant is receiving any means tested benefits, SSI, food stamps, etc., those organizations may also sue you for unpaid support. So, you better get to know that woman before you marry her. Obligations are separate from alimony. If you decide to sponsor your spouse for citizenship, but then divorce him or her, you may owe that spouse alimony, spouse support. However, even if a judge determines that no alimony is required, you may still owe support under the affidavit of support. The I-864 obligation is not terminated based on divorce or a termination of alimony. You may be required to pay support for up to 10 years under the affidavit. So it's stronger than a divorce. When you do that I-130, that's stronger than a divorce. Even if after you divorce, that affidavit goes in. Even if alimony is not required. Joint sponsors are obligated too. You may have needed a joint sponsor or two to bring your income up to an adequate level to sponsor an immigrant relative or spouse. But any sponsor is potentially on the hook for the entire support amount. If you need your sibling or parent to sign on as a joint sponsor, make sure to remind them of their support obligation to your sponsored immigrant. Hopefully, your sponsored immigrant will become a citizen and will not sue you for support. But you should be aware that this is a real legal possibility. After 10 years, they'll be a citizen and you won't be responsible for them. So just get along, date them for a while and make sure, just get along. This ain't no game. You'll be all right. And remember, it's cheaper to keep them. Even more so if you do an I-864. Now, uh, let's go to the I-134 with the K-1 visa. This is for the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. This is from their page, Affidavit of Support. Form I-864 Affidavit of Support under Section 213A of the INA is a contract an individual signs agreeing to use their financial resource to support the intending immigrant named on the affidavit. The individual who signs the affidavit of support becomes a sponsor once the intending immigrant becomes a lawful permanent resident. The sponsor is usually the petitioner who filed an immigrant petition on behalf of the intending immigrant. An affidavit of support is a legally enforceable contract, and the sponsor's responsibility usually lasts until the family member or other individual either becomes a U.S. citizen or is credited with 40 quarters of work, usually 10 years. Now, the I-134 with the K-1 visa. I-134 Declaration of Financial Support. The I-134 is not legally binding from the State Department's Foreign Affairs Manual. Nevertheless, there still are circumstances when Form I-31 will be beneficial. It's good for 90 days. You have 90 days to get married. If you don't get married within 90 days, they are null and void and they have to go home. This is what the USCIS says about visas for fiancés. If you are a U.S. citizen who wants to bring your foreign fiancé to the United States in order to get married, you will need to file a Form I-129F petition for alien fiancé. This is the first step to obtaining a K-1 non-immigrant visa for your fiancé. The K-1 non-immigrant visa is also known as a fiancé visa. In order to obtain a K-1 visa, you and your fiancé must intend to marry each other within 90 days of your fiancé entering the U.S. as a K-1 non-immigrant. Your marriage must be valid, meaning both you and your fiancé have a bona fide intent to establish a life together, and the marriage is not for the sole purpose of obtaining an immigrant benefit. If your fiancé marries you within 90 days of being admitted to the United States as a K-1 non-immigrant, he or she may apply for a lawful permanent resident status in the United States green card. Form I-134 versus Form I-864. What is the difference between Form I-134 and Form I-864? Form I-134 is a promise to financially support a person applying for a temporary visa to the United States, namely a travel visa or a K-1 fiancé visa. Form I-864 is a promise to financially support a person applying for a green card in order to live in the United States permanently. That's the difference. The benefits of having your spouse in the United States is that they can work, earn a good wage, and help their family, and help you take care of them. Benefits of being an expat is all causes in your favor. You can find a job where you can be an OFW. All the cards, well, not really. All the cards isn't in your favor because you're gonna be helping her relatives and family. You're gonna be doing it all. Yep. So there's pros and cons on both sides. So it's like being married. So take those alien when you bring your spouse to the United States, take that very seriously. I hope somebody in YouTube land got something out of this video. Thank y'all for watching my video. If you got anything out of this video, like and subscribe. I'll holler at y'all later.